welcome back to Mimo Chat with Gretchen. I'm Gretchen Gegg, and I am here today with Lauren George. I'm going to just read a little of her bio because I don't want to miss anything. So Lauren has more than 12 years in the fitness industry, and we're going to say like just 12 years too, because wait until you hear what she has done in her 12 years. I am still shocked. She's created multiple fitness formats, educational workshops, run group fitness programs at large health clubs and university campus recreation centers, multiple university campus recreation centers, trained thousands, and that's no joke, of new instructors. She was also named the Empower Fitness Conference Education Partner of the Year in 2018. She's the creator of the Musicality Method, co-creator of the Enhanced Bar Above program, and master trainer for ballet tone. She owns a fitness studio, and you can see right in the background, Clemson Fitness Company in Clemson, South Carolina, and consults on numerous fitness projects for other companies. Holy cow. She's also a mother of two beautiful, thriving, and happy little girls. So I'm just excited that you're here today, Lauren.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So I invited Lauren for a very particular reason. So she and I met while we were teaching group exercise together. In college. I was in grad school. She was an undergrad. And we have, you start out teaching in college because you love it. You love to exercise. But to me, if you're still doing it when you have two kids and you have all these other things, you have found a way to make it work. And not only does Lauren make it work, but she works with a lot of other people. And you have a lot of moms coming to Clemson Fitness Company, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of our big reasons for opening Clemson Fitness Company was there was nowhere in Clemson. If you're not familiar with Clemson, it's population like 2 people. Really, it's tiny. This is great perspective for the mom. We don't have a Target here in Clemson, South Carolina.
So I don't know how you survive.
Right. You can put that into perspective here. There was nowhere in town that offered childcare. So we really wanted to open a spot that had babysitting. So we do have babysitting here at the studio for 3 or 2 to 4 classes a day, depending, on the day of the week and stuff.
That is amazing. Yeah. And as a mom, I totally appreciate that and sometimes like if you're a work from home or stay at home mom, you need that socialization with an adult.
Amen.
And you need to get out of the house and, do they know how lucky they are to have such wonderful instructors? Oh my gosh. And childcare. You just can't beat it. But the first thing I want to address with you is and we're going to focus a lot on kind of moms and exercise today, because I think that's something that you can really bring to the page because you've seen the whole gamut. You've seen the young, motivated college girls. Right. You've seen, the maybe after college business, trying to figure out what gym to go to, but you still love it. And then that new mom kind of, I don't know what to do. Sometimes I can't get out of the house. And you've been all of those things. So you're not just preaching to the choir here. So the first thing is overcoming exercise complaints. So you work with a lot of women, especially as a new studio owner, and you travel all around consulting and working in the conference circuit. What is the biggest complaint that you hear about exercise, and how do you respond to that?
I think the biggest complaint that I hear for exercises is one that we hear from across the board with all different types of people, is that I don't have enough time. But with moms, I feel like especially they feel like they're putting themselves ahead of their kids or their spouses or of taking care of the house if they're making their health a priority. And so one of the things that we really wanted to do here at Clemson Fitness Company, and just me in general, one of kind of my missions in life, is to make sure that people really understand that when you exercise, you are healthier. When you're healthier, when you're happier. And then when you're happier, you're a better mom. I yell at my kids a lot less often, when I'm getting my exercise in. So we really wanted to make sure that we are creating a space here. And when I talk to people across the country, I advise them to find a type of workout that they love doing and a community, hopefully, that they love doing it with. And then to not feel guilty about it. Like, you just don't feel guilty about it. You have to get your hair done. You have to take your kids to school. I have to work out. I have to grocery shop. I have to work out. Just make it one of those things that you do for self-care. And I will 100% admit horrible at the self-care situation, not horrible at it, but like, you know, I have to be consciously thinking about
right.
it.
And moms do. We have to.
Exactly.
We have to plan it out or it's not going to happen.
Exactly. So I just really try to coach women up on the fact that taking the time for exercise is absolutely not something that they should feel guilty about or push to the back burner. It should be something that they even think about doing for their children because they're happier, but then also they're showing their children what it's like to make exercise a habit. We do a ton of mommy and me classes here. And outdoor family boot camps and things like that. So that's kind of my biggest kind of soapbox moment or my mission in life is to help people not view taking time for exercise as something that they should push off because they have other things that they need to do.
And I love watching on your Instagram all the different things that you do to bring the kids into the studio. You don't make it like, well, exercise is something that mommy does.
Right.
You had like, what was you just did a bar class? The Mommy and Me bar class, right?
Yeah, so we actually have another one coming up on Saturday. So for the Mommy and Me bar class, it's we usually do it on Saturday or Sunday. It's for 5 to 8-year-olds. And so they come in and they do a bar class. Our babysitting in the studio is actually behind a sliding barn door. So a lot of the kids, when they're in babysitting, can see what their moms are doing, or they hear it for sure. And so they want to come and do a big class like mommy. So sometimes we do kid-specific classes where it's just for the kids, but a lot of times we'll do mommy and me classes, and we really try to make it look just like what the kids are seeing their parents do.
Yeah.
So then they think they're going, you know, to mommy's exercise class or to daddy's exercise class. Last weekend we did an outdoor boot camp class, and we really encouraged all of the husbands to come and to bring the boys, and everything was outside, and it was really fun. But then they view it as something positive too.
Very cool. And I really like what you said about community. And you and I are both, and I will say this, we are going to come from group fitness perspective always. And people have heard about that. And every time they hear me talk, I probably say something about group fitness. But even for the person that maybe kind of cringes when they walk by the room and they see the, you know, instructor up front and all the perky faces, I still believe, and you'll probably back me on this, that there is a place for a social aspect in group fitness. Have you seen that play a part in motivation for people?
Oh, 100%. Actually, it's funny. Living in a small town, you know, a lot of the people, my husband works for the university. And so all that's in Clemson is a university. So a ton of either the people that work out here or their spouses work for the university. And my husband gives me such a hard time because on Saturdays, all the husbands in his office, because his office is predominantly male, give him such a hard time because all the ladies come to work out together on Saturday morning. So they're like, are y'all really working out? Are y'all drinking mimosas over there? And we actually have a brunch spot next door, so we do both. And so it really is, you know, such a social thing. And we even have back-to-back classes on Saturday mornings with a little time in between. And moms will actually swap out. Especially like for football game weekends, if the husbands are working, because my husband works for athletics, then we'll have a set come to the first class and take kids, and then a set come to the second class and like pass off the kids. So that way they can get their workout in the morning if we don't have babysitting, or if our babysitting is full because it can only handle so much. But if you are working out with people that you consider friends, or your workout partners become your friends, then it's so much more fun to work out. And we do all our HIIT classes a lot of times are structured kind of as either like relay races or some kind of game or team activity. So that way it isn't just, okay, another step touch class or something, you know, you're really getting to communicate with your friends and with your workout buddies while you're doing class. So
yeah. And I always encourage people. I know it's easy. It's really easy to start a program at home.
Right.
And I think there's a place for that.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a whole program built around, hey, start your workout at home. But what I really hope is that after that's done, you find your group of people, even if that's going out and, you know, getting a walk in.
Right.
Because I think about some of my near and dear friends. I wouldn't know them if I hadn't sweat with them and they saw me at my ugliest, right? Yes. And we're sweating together, but there's just that sense of community. And I think that leads really well into our next topic, because you're right. A lot of people make complaints about time. but there is a way to balance life and working out. And you did speak once to making it a priority, but I'd like to hear kind of some of your personal things about that, because you have quite a life. You're not staying at home all the time. You travel, you have a pretty busy schedule, but yet you make time for your own personal workout. So what are some strategies that you use for balancing that?
Well, I think one of the number one things to keep in mind, and I think a lot of people just skip over this step when they're thinking about where can I schedule in my workout, is we all have our prime time of when we enjoy working out. So for me, that's in the morning, anytime between noon. I mean, I would rather get up at 4 a.m. and work out than work out at 6:30 p.m. at night. That's just how I am. My husband is the exact opposite. I joke that he puts me to bed like a baby, and then he goes and works out at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Because that's
I don't understand that.
I know, I don't either. I mean, the 8 years I've been married to him, I don't understand it, but he does it and it works for him. And that's his like mental stress relief time before he goes to bed. It's like his version of meditating. But when people start to think about either work-life balance or family life balance, a lot of times they immediately go, okay, just where can I fit it in? But if you go, where can I fit it in? And you write something in to take a 5:30 p.m. class, but you hate working out in the afternoon, you are so much more likely to skip that class and to not go. So you need to first ask yourself, when is my prime time? When do I like to work out? Or what class do I like to do? Or what activity do I like to do? Now, step 2 is where do I put that into my schedule? And so if you are just, there's kickboxing at 4:15 in the afternoon, I'll go do that, but I don't really like kickboxing, then you're not going to go do it. So finding that's kind of a 2-step process. And then for me, I have I use an app called G-Task. It's like a to-do list app, but I prioritize that in what is most important. What do I have to get done, non-negotiables for every day? And then I write those into my calendar as far as when I'm going to do them in the day. So for me, obviously my non-negotiables are going to be getting my workout in, answering emails, tackling, tasks that have a deadline. I have to have this choreography filmed and turned in or what have you. And so making sure that the workouts fit in with that, and then giving yourself permission for your workout to maybe look different than you think it should originally. So sometimes I get up, Sunday mornings are my kind of really, for me, workouts. I work out on my back porch. I'm a huge college football fan. So I have college football finale or final on. It's like a recap from all the games on Saturday. And I do like a very more traditional strength training workout with kettlebells and TRX and all that kind of stuff. And that's like, I look forward to that workout by myself every week, and sometimes the kids wake up early, like daylight savings time, and my workout was 30 minutes versus the 45 or an hour I had planned. And that's okay because, I still got something in. So making sure you're being realistic and honoring what your body really likes to do when you're scheduling that in.
Oh, I love everything that you said. The idea of being in, don't beat yourself up if it's not, like I have this 15-minute HIIT workout that if I oversleep or I only have 15 minutes, I know I can do that and I at least get something in.
Yes.
And yeah, ideally, the recommendation is 30 minutes, but y'all really, right? It's 150 minutes a week. You can find that. And that's moderate. I always tell people, if you work so hard, you're going to puke, you get to count it twice.
Right.
So
I like that. I'm going to use that.
Yeah. And and it makes you work a little harder too. Like I get to count it for twice my amount. But you keep going back to this idea, and I firmly believe this too, is having our view of exercise as something of self-care.
Right.
So we really should not only do it because we know that it's good for us, but have it something that we feel better when we're done and it's enjoyable. I get people all the time, especially college students. I think they're still trying to find their own way in the fitness realm. And they're like, I'm going to run a half marathon and I'm going to get up every morning at 5:30, and they hate running and they hate getting up early. I'm like, you're not going to do that. I hate to be the person that says, something negative over you, but the likelihood of you doing that is slim to none. And there's no, I guess they do give out medals at half marathons, but there's no real award for, and you can find like a reward for almost any activity.
Right.
And actually something you guys do really good at your studio is y'all have like bingo and things going on all the time, which is so cool. So you get those little rewards without having to run 13.1 miles, which we know we've both done.
Yes, yes.
I don't know if I'm going to do it again.
My knees love me a lot better when I'm not doing that.
I know. And what that could go all day.
Right. Yes.
I could go all day, but yeah, I love the calendarize, the to-do list, all that. So something else that I focus on pretty heavily, especially when I'm first working with a client, is mindset, because I firmly believe, and we've hit on this in a couple different ways, I firmly believe that without having your mind in the right place and affirming your future, that you're not going to be able to make real lasting change. We're in a culture of action first, then change, but we never address the underlying mindset. So have you seen that, like, in your life or in the life of somebody else, come to play?
Yeah. I mean, I think working here at a studio, I obviously see a lot of people coming in and out and sticking around. You know, we've been open for a year and 2 months now, and we've had people since literally that first 5:30 a.m. class, day one. And a lot of people will come in with this attitude of, especially here, since we have so many moms, it's like, I got to lose the baby weight. I got to lose baby weight. I got to lose baby weight. And really just thinking about this at first as a quick fix and something that I need to, you know, do 5 classes a week or 7 classes a week or what have you.
Yes.
And what we really want them to understand and what we want to help them do is, yes, get those results, understand, you know, what ratio of cardio to strength training to flexibility does their body need at the time? How far into recovery from having a baby are they? But then, you know, also helping them to realize that diversifying their exercise regime and finding out what exercise they're truly enjoying doing here will help make this, you know, a lifestyle. So transitioning them, and a lot of times, you know, they'll come in and they'll buy 1 or 2 month class passes, and then helping them to realize that it really is a journey and something that will make them feel better forever. You start to see that shift after they've been, you know, working out for a while. And kind of finding what works for them and how their body feels when they're doing it.
Yeah. I love having that small, and I would almost say, if you're coming into working out for the first time, find a small studio, because you get to have a conversation with the owner. So people who are really not only invested in their classes, but they know exactly what goes on in them.
Yeah.
Instead, I mean, I love big box gyms. I work for one, but the front desk isn't always the same person that's teaching the classes, and most likely it's not. So it's helpful to find those little boutique fitness or smaller fitness places, because you can have and they can be more intimidating to walk into, for sure. I mean, I just know for me, but know that honestly, the people there want to see you succeed.
Right.
They don't care if you walk in with, and when you say if you walk in with 200 pounds to lose or 10 pounds to lose, they want to see you be your best self.
Right. And don't be afraid to ask the studio owner or studio manager. So we don't have typical, like you would, a lot of big box gyms offer assessments for personal training. You can do an assessment and then they want to try to sell you personal training. Well, we don't do personal training here. So we can do measurements and all that kind of stuff, but we don't typically have like an assessment process. But I meet with people all the time who just want me to go through the schedule with them, explain all the different classes, say, hey, you know, we might not want to be doing 4 HIIT classes back to back in a row. Like, let's add a kettlebell class, or let's put a bar class in there, or yoga sculpt class in there, helping them design their ideal workout schedule. Because when you are at a studio, especially a multidisciplinary studio, you can almost treat it like scheduling out your different type of workouts, your strength training workouts, your cardio workouts, based on what classes there are. Even if you're at, let's say, like a Lifetime big box gym, you can look at the schedule and schedule out your ideal training, what your ideal training week would look like. And most of the time, managers, owners of small studios are more than happy to meet with you and talk through what that would look like and pick your ideal schedule, and just maybe advise you on, you know, what they think you would like. You were a ballerina growing up. Well, you'll probably love bar. You played soccer in college. Well, you might love your HIIT classes and things like that.
Very cool. And you also, I know you specifically, because we talked about this, one of your courses has also with musicality. So I know that you really use, and there's a lot of people that do this, music to help affect, and we say motivation, but really I think it's mindset.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you pick songs, and do you take suggestions from people?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a very, very self-admitted, and Gretchen and I have had lots of conversation about this, anxious person by nature. I feel like my mind is always running 1,000,000,000 miles an hour. And whenever I was in college at A&M, I started to realize that yoga is not really where I found my zen. I love yoga. I teach yoga. I'm certified in yoga. But really where I felt the most kind of at peace in my mind, and where I could separate from outside distractions. I think that's really the best way for me to describe it, was when I was in a group fitness class, moving to the music and really kind of letting that music wash over me and help me kind of get in the zone. So ever since then, it's kind of been one of my missions is to help group fitness instructors share that experience with their participants. So that's what the musicality method is, where I teach instructors how to teach to music. So here at Clemson Fitness Company, and when I teach anywhere, and when I try to communicate with my instructors, is that music can be really powerful in helping to create that experience for our clients. Same thing for people working out at home, taking that time to really create a playlist that you love. Or using something like Fit Radio, which has amazing remixes on it that helps you to get more out of your workout and really find, scientifically they call it like your flow, or getting in the zone where you are focused on what you are doing. And then your workout kind of becomes more than just a workout, but really an opportunity to relieve stress and to have, some me time, for lack of better terminology there. So it is something we talk about a lot here. We talk about creating playlists and crafting playlists that speak to people across generations and that have different musical tastes and things like that.
So cool. I know I'm a big fan of having your playlist, like something you can put on, and it can switch my attitude like this. I mean, I can be having a really funk day, and then some silly song that I love and that's probably annoyed everyone else, but I love it, comes on. And I would suggest too, if you don't already have, whoever's listening to this, if you don't already have a playlist somewhere that you can click on when your mind starts rattling all those negative things, or even, to-do list is one thing. You have these anxiety that there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Right. It's just going through your mind. Put that music on, because you get caught up in the lyrics and move to the music. That alone can be a little workout. Yeah. If you have nothing else to do, have a dance party with your kids.
And I do have a playlist just like that. That's like my Get Your Mind Right playlist. And this morning I had a total, Monday morning. My kid didn't like anything she wanted to wear. My 4-year-old had a complete fit, and we didn't want to go to school, didn't like anything that I packed in her lunchbox. And then on the way to the studio, I find out that one microphone's broken and there's no toilet paper, and nobody thought to tell me. So, all the things before 8:00 a.m. So I come in, and I'm like a big fan of the power ballads. So like Kesha's song Praying, or Rachel Platten, all of Rachel Platten's stuff, or Lauren Daigle, all that. So it's like 5 minutes before my class comes on, and I hadn't unlocked the door yet. And the walls are like rattling Rachel Platten, because I just needed a second before I had to teach my class. And I felt better.
I love it. Yeah, you need that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And there's so many great songs out there. We could talk about that all day. But and also I know you're on Spotify, and I'm on Spotify too. And if worse comes to worse, go see what she just listened to.
Yeah.
This has been just so eye-opening. I always end with one last question. And because I feel like everyone answers it a little bit differently, and we all speak to different people. This is an instructor. Like, some people really jive with you. Some people like another instructor better. But if you could stand in front of somebody, so a lot of the moms, the women, the clients that come to me are totally overwhelmed, not just because of all the health and fitness stuff, but because they're kind of at the bottom. Like, they feel like there's no hope. So if you could stand in front of that woman right now, and you can slant this to exercise or whatever is, whatever you're feeling right now, but give her a piece of advice that would get her back on track again, what would that be?
Oh, okay. So as I talked about earlier, I have a tendency to get anxious and overwhelmed. So one thing that I learned to do a while back that has really helped me, because I'm such a to-do list person, is when I feel overwhelmed like that, whether it's just, overwhelmed with life in general or just the day, I take a moment and I make 2 different lists. I make a list of 3 things that I'm doing really well, whether that is I taught a great class today, or I got my kids to school on time, or I packed healthy lunches, or whatever it is. 3 things that I did well. And then I write down 3 things that no matter how big whatever task is overwhelming me, 3 things that I can for sure accomplish today that will help me get there. So even if they're tiny, even if they're not big steps towards tackling whatever is overwhelming me, just having steps to do and having tactile things that I know I can accomplish just calms me down a little bit. And then having those 3 things that I can check off my list that I did well, just as a kind of a little mood booster, if you will, or helps your self-esteem a little bit. So that's what I do. And actually, that's one of the first things that I do every morning. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, I do the Attaboy app or the Attaboy list. But just the very first thing that I do every single morning when I wake up in the morning, I get up really ridiculously early, because that first hour of the day is when I feel the most creative. So that's when I do all my class planning. If I'm working on a big project, that's when I'll try to tackle that, any super important emails. But the very first thing that I do is I get my, the G-Task app, I get my little app out, and I write out every single thing that I need to do, even if it's just so teeny tiny, because just knowing that I'm not going to forget to do it lowers my anxiety level. And I read a book one time that talked about how if you brain dump everything out, then it allows you more space to be creative in your own brain. Because if you're constantly worrying about your to-do list or forgetting to do something, then you don't have that space to be creative. So, I mean, every single minute little thing, call this person back, don't forget to write this down, is on that app every morning. It's the first thing I do. That helps me.
I love that. Love it. And that really speaks to me. I know some people kind of want to hear the like, come on girl, you can do it. Like I respond better. And there's plenty of people out there who respond better with that. You need to sit down and you need to make this list.
Right.
Like get up, pull your bootstraps up or whatever they say. I always forget those things. And do something.
Yeah.
Even if it's like you're saying, as little as writing a list, but if you can convince yourself that you can do that one thing, you can do another little thing and another little thing and another little thing. And that's what it is. That's what really life adds up to, is a bunch of little tiny success.
Totally. I mean, my to-do list sometimes will literally have, don't forget to switch the clothes from the washer to the dryer. Because I always forget to put the clothes in the dryer. My husband's like, how long have those been in there? I'm like, ooh, I don't know. Let's just rewash that. So, like all those little things that I'm worried about forgetting, or that I know even more so will derail me if I forget to do them. So then I'll get frustrated at myself because I didn't put them in the dryer and now I have to rewash them and all that kind of stuff. So having it all written down in an organized fashion just kind of makes me feel better and work more efficiently overall.
Very cool. So Lauren, how can people find you, get in touch with you, see what you have going on, stay connected?
Yeah. So everything for me is Lauren George Fitness. So I'm Lauren George Fitness on Instagram. I'm Lauren George Fitness. Like my fitness page on Facebook is Lauren George Fitness. You can just regular Facebook friend me, Lauren George, but then you'll just see pictures of my kids. If you want like workouts.
I've had to separate the two as well. I'm like,
I know. Yeah. If you want workouts and playlists, it's Lauren George Fitness. And then my website with all my upcoming workshops and links to articles I've written and consulting stuff is just Lauren G Fitness. So I'm pretty easy to find.
Very cool. Thank you so much for being here today. I love your mindset. I love what you have to say to moms, and there's definitely somebody out there that needed to hear everything that you said.
Well, thank you for having me. I so appreciate it.
So Lauren was just fabulous. I'm telling you, if you are someone that struggles with finding your fitness type or finding the motivation to work out or anything like that, plug into her social media because she's always bringing fun little tidbits. She's sharing her playlist. She's showing pictures of all the cool classes that they do that can help you get motivated. And you can start to look for similar studios if you're wanting that more boutique experience. See who she's connected with. And y'all, best part is She travels around the country. So she's always got trainings and conferences all over the US. So you could go work out with Lauren somewhere someday pretty soon. For more information about Mimo or Mind into Motion, please plug into my website. It's www.gretchengegg.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Gretchen Gegg Friends. That's where I put all of the information regarding what's going on in the fitness world in my life and for my mentoring and coaching services. And find me on Instagram at Gretchen Gegg. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And you guys, if you're feeling like your past is dragging you behind today, I want you to just turn right around and face forward and keep moving down the road.